Thank you, everyone. Wow, this is so exciting. I'm so glad you could all be here with us today. Now, I know some of you are wondering what I'm doing here at Palm. You know, I used to work for this really cool company in Cupertino. And we did lots of really cool stuff. But after a while, I decided it was time to take a break. I had some other things I wanted to do with my life. So we packed up, me, my wife, the dogs, and we moved to Mexico, right about there. Now, I'm hanging out on the beach one day when the phone rings. Yeah, we have phones and internet in Mexico. So the phone rings, and it's Fred Anderson and Roger McNamee from Elevation Partners. And they were all excited about this incredible opportunity. And they wanted me to meet someone. So they sent this guy, Ed Colligan, down to visit me on the beach. And Ed pitched me on helping to restore innovation at Palm. Now, we hung out for a couple days, did some brainstorming, drank some margaritas, and brainstormed some more. Now, I was a pretty busy guy in Mexico. But I thought about it for a while. It was a huge business opportunity, and the growth of smartphones is explosive. And I've been through a variety of transitions, from mainframes to desktops, desktops to notebooks. Clearly, there's another transition going on here. So I said yes. And I left behind those other things I was doing and joined Palm. Now, for those of you that have hung out on a beach in Mexico, you're probably thinking, why? Or you're thinking, muy loco. But aside from it being a great business opportunity, it was an incredible product opportunity. And I'm a product guy. The next wave is clearly mobile devices. And Palm's DNA is mobile, always has been. I think the company's positioned to create some of the best mobile devices in the industry. Now, today's mobile market is different than it was a few years ago. You need to have a great phone. And frankly, I think many companies seem to have forgotten that. But that's not enough. And it needs to be more than just a bunch of applications bolted on top of that phone. We all live very complex lives. And we keep our information all over the place, on our mobile, on our computers, and in various places in the cloud. The opportunity is to take all that information, wherever it is, put it all in one place, in your hand, be able to access it quickly, and let all of that data interact. Now, to do that, you need to have the right phone. And you need to have the right platform. One that's forward-looking, not based on yesterday's operating system. And one that's powerful and flexible. Powerful enough so that it can handle all that different types of data. And flexible enough so that you can move in between the data with just the flick of a finger. And I can't think of any company better to do this than Palm. So let me introduce you to that guy who came to visit me on the beach, Ed Colligan, President and CEO of Palm, to explain why. Ed?
Thank you, John. Thank you, everybody. It's great to be here. John's absolutely right. Palm is the right company to bring you a breakthrough new platform and product. That's because from the beginning, we've been designing products, really thinking about how to improve people's lives. That's where our design premise comes from. And we're very, very proud of our success. We say things around Palm like, fingers, not buttons, or pockets, not processors. Why? Because we think about all the touches you might do through your day trying to, get through using these devices, or how small the device has to be to fit right in your pocket. Those are more important things to us than processors or how many buttons we're going to put on it. When we designed the original Palm Pilot, actually, we didn't think about competing with the Newton. We thought about competing with pen and paper because that's what people were using in that day, and we really wanted to provide instant-on capability to the devices. We have what we think is kind of a unique perspective on product design. We ask ourselves a couple questions all the time. One of them is, how can we simplify people's lives? when they're on the go? That's literally a question we ask ourselves all the time. It's one of the values of our company. And the second is, how can we make the technology invisible? How can we make it just seem like magic to you as you're using it? It's something we like to do. There's one more reason why Palm is the right company to bring this to you, and that is because mobile is in our DNA. We don't do computers. We don't do big screen TVs or set-top boxes. We don't do refrigerators. We do mobile, and that's all we do. Now, we have some very cool stuff to show you today, and it's going to be fun to bring that out. But I'd like you to indulge me for just a second. I'm going to take you on a little back to our roots a bit and shed some light on how we got here and kind of some design perspective around the new things we're going to show you. If you remember back to the 80s and the 90s, we kept our stuff all over the place. We had phone numbers in filofaxes and in Rolodexes on our desk and on our refrigerator and wherever. A real mess. It was hard to keep them up to date. It was hard to keep them all synced. Palm thought about this problem, and we said, geez, how could we bring this together to help people manage their lives more effectively? How could we keep all that information in sync? And we designed a little product you might remember called the Palm Pilot. It really was a very compelling tool that changed the way people manage their lives on the go. That was great, and it connected you everywhere and brought all these different elements that you were using on the go into one device you could carry in your pocket. But what it did is eventually led to more devices. All of a sudden, you had an MP3 player, and you had a Palm Pilot, and you had a cell phone. All those things, you kind of started looking like Batman. In fact, Roger still does look like Batman. But you got all these things on your belt, just too many devices to carry. Palm tried to step back and say, well, yeah, there's a lot of devices. What can we do to fix this? And so we designed the smartphone. We literally took all these different devices, combined them into a single device so that you could manage your life on the go even more effectively. And that turned out to be the Treo. Now, today, we have a new twist on that same old problem. Today, our stuff is all over the internet. Today, we do all kinds of things on the internet. We blog, we Twitter, we poke. You're all doing your status update right now, I'm sure. Our lives live in a lot of different places on the net. You might have your work contacts in Outlook. You might have your personal contacts in Google or Gmail. You might have your mailing list for your rock band on Facebook. Different websites, all different places, all different information. The problem is it's kind of like a filing cabinet. You know, the smartphones today let you browse that information from place to place, but, you kind of open up a drawer, pull out a piece of information. It's, a site, and you look at that, and when you're done with it, you close it up and you put it back in the drawer, and you go to the next thing. It's a real modal way of kind of accessing information. We don't really live our lives that way, and it kind of slows down the way we access stuff. So we thought, there's an opportunity here, a way of bringing this all together in a more seamless way. The ironic thing is that people do want to simplify their lives, but they also kind of like the things separate like this, in separate silos. People like keeping their stuff in different places. I like my work life with my work life, and my home life with my home life, and my, 49er fan life with my 49er fan life. I like being William and Chris's dad at yahoo.com or, Ed at palm.com or 49er fan at Yahoo. All those things are part of different things I like to do. And so what's happened is information is everywhere. It's just, it's all over the place. But wouldn't it be nice if we could take all that information that is everywhere and bring it to you in a really seamless way from all those different places and bring it to your pocket so that your calendar and your contacts and your information that resides in all these different places seamlessly gets integrated automatically? Think about that for a second. Would it not be fun to have, you got your Outlook contacts, right? With all your information in it. How many pictures do you have in those? Probably next to none. Well, what if all of a sudden all your real friends in your Outlook contacts suddenly showed up with the pictures from Facebook automatically. It'd be pretty cool. And it would let you flow through your life, we think, even more easily. No matter where the information lives, my work life, my home life, all the different parts of my life coming together into a device seamlessly. That's what we want to do. Now, how are we going to do that? We had to start with a new platform. From the ground up, we had to create a whole new platform, and we've done that. It is going to redefine the center of your access point to the internet. The default thinking of this platform isn't to hook up to your desktop PC to get information out of it. It is to connect to the cloud, and every application that is designed for this platform will have some kind of information flowing from the internet into it. There are capabilities in it that can't even be done on the desktop. And it's called the Palm WebOS, and we're very, very excited to bring it to you today. Now, in a few minutes, we're going to show you a whole bunch about it. We're going to give you a pretty in-depth demo. But the first thing I'd like to tell you about it is a really cool thing. It was built with developers in mind. The whole thing is built on industry-standard web tools. If you know HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, you can develop applications for this platform. That's it. Now, we have tens of thousands of Palm OS developers. No question there could be hundreds of thousands of these. In fact, millions. There's more than 10 million web developers out there. And it's going to be all those people who are capable of doing that can design applications for this platform. No new languages to learn, period. Now, we can build a lot of devices over time, a lot of flexible stuff on top of this. But you want to do the right device the first time. You want to build the right phone. We really felt like that was critical. Because that device should be really killer at helping you manage your life and go through all those days, all the things you need, all the things you care about. Your people, your core contacts, the things you want to access day in and day out, your time, how you manage that time, and your critical information, getting access to that anywhere on the web. Imagine what that device would look like, just for a moment. And I'm going to bring John up now to show it to you, the device and the platform. John, come back on stage.
Thanks, Ed. Well, it is my pleasure to show you the new Palm Pre. The Palm Pre will help you live your life more effectively. It keeps you a little bit ahead of the game. It's so much in sync with you that sometimes it feels like it's thinking ahead for you. Now, this is what it looks like on the big screen. It's beautiful. Yeah? The design was inspired by nature. Our industrial design team and mechanical engineering teams did a phenomenal job. I think it's just beautiful. Now let's talk about some technology. So everyone get their propeller beanies spinning a little bit. We'll talk about what's inside. We wanted you to have a lot of data bandwidth. So we built in EVDO, Rev-A, and 802.11 B and G Wi-Fi. And we didn't want you to get lost. So we built in GPS with third-party turn-by-turn navigation. And we wanted you to use the latest cool accessories. So we built in Bluetooth, version 2.1 with EDR and stereo support. I've got some of those nice new Bluetooth stereo speakers sitting on my desk. They sound great. And because you'll be putting a lot of information, a lot of data on the device, we built in 8 gigabytes of storage. And because you'll need to be processing all of that information, we built in a really fast processor. We're using TI's latest OMAP 3430 processor. Pre is the first smartphone with this processor, and it combines laptop-like performance with a mobile power footprint. Now let's take a look at some details. Let's take a look at the front. Has a gorgeous 3.1-inch display, half VGA resolution. That's 320 by 480. And it's got a touchscreen with multi-touch capability. Now the touchscreen goes over the display area, but also extends down to the center button. And that area below the display is called the gesture area. And we're going to tell you a lot more about that in a little while. Pre also has a variety of sensors, so it knows about the environment that it's in. Now let's flip around the side. You have volume up, down. We flip around the back. We give you a 3-megapixel camera with LED flash and extended depth of field capability. We have some awesome DSP software that allows you to take phenomenal photographs. And there's a speaker, so you can do a speakerphone or listen to some music. And by popular demand, we've allowed you to remove the back and replace the battery. Let's flip around the other side. Micro USB connector for charging, and we give you high-speed USB 2.0 with USB mass storage support, so it looks just like a USB drive. Flipping around the top, industry standard 3.5 millimeter headset jack, so you can use those beautiful Palm headsets or whatever your favorite are. Mine are, I like those Bose noise-canceling ones particularly. We have the traditional Palm ringer on-off switch and a power button. Tap it once, Pre goes to sleep. Hold it down, and you get a choice of airplane mode with the radios off, or completely power down the device. Now, it's great to use a touchscreen device this way, and there's many, many things you can do with it just like this. But sometimes you want to jam out email or an instant message. And you know, one of those cheesy virtual keyboards just won't cut it. So we gave you a great slide-out QWERTY keyboard. Okay, let's flip it around the side. You see it's got a beautiful ergonomic curve. Fits great in your hand or against your face. And it works as a phone, either open or closed. Now let's compare the size to some of the more popular smartphones out there today. You see that the engineering team did a phenomenal job squeezing all of that technology in a really compact enclosure. Weighs 4.8 ounces, fits easily in your pocket, and it's a blast to use, single-handed, or if you want to jam out emails with both hands. Now, we'd like to show you how it works. And to do that, I would like to introduce you to Matthias Duarte. Matthias is our Senior Director of Human Interface and User Experience. And Matthias, along with his team, working closely with our software engineering teams, have done an amazing job of creating our new platform. So Matthias, why don't you come on up and show us how it works.
Thank you, John. Now, because this is Vegas, I do have to disclaim that there is absolutely nothing up my sleeves. The device I'm going to show you this software running on is live, and everything is actually running on the device. You will notice this cable coming off of it, and we use that so we can project what I'm doing onto this big screen up here so you can actually see what's going on. Now, let's talk about UI. Palm has always been known for the simplicity of its UI. And with WebOS, we think we've achieved something that is so simple and so direct that it truly becomes almost invisible. Just looking at the screen, you can see it's just your big, gorgeous wallpaper image with your favorite application icons arranged at the bottom. The time and those other status things at the top, they just meld away. They're like part of the device itself. You focus on your content, what's important to you. To start something, I just tap the icon, and the application elegantly glides up, just like that. And here's Contacts. You can see it's really simple, too. Just one button to create a new contact. If I want to scroll through my contacts list, I just give it a flick. It responds to my touch physically with this beautiful little momentum, this bounce. It's like a physical object that I'm just touching with my gestures. If I now open somebody, look at Sophia down here, I just give her a tap, and she opens up with this nice little zoom. Here's Sophia, and you can see it's really simple to get at all her information as well. Everything's at my fingertips. These direct manipulation gestures have let us keep this screen clean without any buttons or junk to utilize that, just touch and go. But as John said earlier, our touch is special. It goes beyond the screen. You can see if I touch down below in the gesture area with my finger here, it lights up. It's responding to my touch kind of like magic. It's like something organic. This opens up a whole new world of gestures. Let's start with a simple one. If I want to go back to the list, I can just flick back in the gesture area from right to left, like I'm turning the page in a book. Just like that, I zoom back out. Now, what's great about this is that it means that all basic navigation is all just gestures. Give it a flick, give it a tap to open, give it a little swipe to go back. There's no buttons or anything cluttering up the screen to do the most fundamental navigation. And because it's all just gestures, it's completely ambidextrous and easy to do one-handed. If I'm using my other hand, I can flip through here, tap on who I want, and I can give that little flick in the other side of the gesture area, because gestures are very forgiving about their location. So, let me show you another gesture that we can use. If I want to start something new, I start in the gesture area and swipe up. And my launcher slides up like a sheet of glass right over what I'm doing. And there's the familiar Palm launcher with 3 columns of gorgeous icons. To look at some photos, I just tap that. And now my Photos application also slides right up. Again, the UI for Photos is very simple, just that direct manipulation I showed you. I want to look at some pictures, I tap on them. I want to scroll through my pictures, I just flick through, find the one I want, tap on that one. Even here, I just flip through stuff to get to what I'm looking for. And then when I'm done, I just give it that flick back, and I'm back where I came from. If I want to start something new, anywhere I am, I just bring up the launcher. I don't have to go to a new place. Don't lose my context. Take a note, just tap the icon, and there we go. Note slides up. Now, this is really simple UI, and the hardware of the device that John showed you is also really simple. But many of you love those 4 application buttons that you have on your Treo and you had in your original Palm Pilot that give you one action access to everything that matters to you. Well, with WebOS, we still want to give you that power, but we want to keep things simple. So again, we use the gesture area. This is a slightly more advanced gesture. If I start down here and I drag up, bring up this quick launch wave. And you can see, here's those favorite icons. When I release, I switched that application instantly. So that was one action. I still have one touch access to everything I want, but everything is kept simple and clean. Now, this is that kind of newness you were hoping to see here today, right? Now, we do think this is beautiful, but it's not good enough. Fundamentally, this method of operation, it's the same as the original Palm Pilot. Every time I want to change focus and do something different, I have to bring up that launcher. I have to hunt for the icon. Where was, oh, Notes, right there. And then switch to that. It's very modal, as Ed said. What we need today is the kind of flexibility we're used to from the desktop computer, where we can really flow between one activity to another. But you can't just shrink a desktop computer. It's not going to work. You need a new metaphor. And so instead of a desktop where you pile up windows like sheets of paper on a broad surface, we imagined a deck of cards that you can shuffle and sort even in one hand. Let me show you what happens when I press the center button. I zoom out, and here's all my activities, notes, contacts, and photos, each in their own card, right where I left them. I can go into one of these activities, look at something else, and when I go back out into my card, I can see exactly where I left off. My cards are live, completely. And this makes them so much more powerful than favorite icons ever could be, because I can really see what's going on in my workspace. And because it's a workspace, we of course let you organize it. So if I want to put notes at the front, I just press and hold to pick it up, drag it over, and release. Just like that. Put contacts at the front, drag and release. Now, if you want to clean up your deck of cards, you're done with one of these, you're done with a particular activity, that's easy too. I just throw it away off the top of the screen. Palm has always made sure you never worry about losing your data. All your changes are saved automatically. You won't find a save button anywhere in this UI. So when I'm done with notes, I can just throw it off the top. This allows me to focus on what I'm trying to do, not on running programs or saving files or all those computer things. It's so simple and direct, there's almost no need for UI. There's no close boxes, no drag handles, no window panes, no buttons. You just have these cards that you shuffle and sort, and when you're done, you throw them away. Now, how's that for some real newness? Now, Palm WebOS is more than just about how you flow between activities. It's how those activities are connected to each other and to the web. All of our applications communicate dynamically with the web, bringing info together into one place. And we call this Synergy. Let me show you how Synergy works by going back to contacts. As Ed said, everybody's got information in multiple places about the people that you care about. Your Outlook, your Facebook. With Synergy, we've brought all that information into a single place, your contacts list here on your pre, without having to merge or migrate. You just log in once. Now, since you have some of the same people that you know at work and as your friends on Facebook, we have to be smart, because you don't want to have duplicates in this list. So you can see this little stack of photos in the upper right corner, right next to Sophia's name. That indicates that her contact is linked from multiple sources. If I tap on Sophia, I can see her card open up, and I can see there's 3 sources there. I tap on that. There's information from Google, from Outlook, and Facebook. But the best part is I can focus on Sophia the person. I can just look at all her phone numbers here, and I don't get duplicate entries for information which is redundant. And more importantly, I don't have to worry about, was her home number on Facebook or was it on Google? All the information is brought into one place for your convenience, but the data remains independent, as it should. We apply these same principles of Synergy in the calendar. Those accounts that I showed you in Contacts, they're here in my calendar as well. I can see I have a work meeting at 9 in the morning today, and some Google meetings, Google Calendar events, my meditation at 4. It's all put together into one list, color-coded. Now, some days, getting all that information in one place can be a little overwhelming. So, of course, we allow you to focus on just the information you care about. If I just tap in the header here, I can see all the different calendars that are integrated through Synergy into Calendar here. I've got all these different Google calendars, and there's my work. So if I just want to focus on that, the other events disappear, and now I can just worry about the one thing I need to focus on tomorrow. Now notice we have this gray crosshatched time here. That indicates busy time on other calendars. So you never have to worry about accidentally double booking yourself if you are focusing. Now, one of the things Palm has always been known for is intelligently showing you as much calendar information as possible. So here again, we've done something special with the time that you're not using. Right after John's staff at 9, I have this empty block of time, 6 hours free. We compress that time. You can see these little accordion folds here at the top of the screen so that the next events are visible. That way you're never surprised by an event that you didn't see coming just because you've got some empty time. If I want to use that time, I just tap on it. It opens up. And as Ed said earlier, Palm has always focused on the most brutal of the competition, pen and paper. So if I want to utilize any of this free time, that's easy. I can just tap on it and type. Just like that. Now let's look at Synergy in email. Once again, I have a single list of all my email accounts. I can look at all my folders from one of these accounts here, or I can focus on my favorite folders in this group here at the top of the screen. We've even given you an all inbox folder, so you can go to a single place to check all your new messages. Of course, email works just like you expect on the desktop, with attachments and inline images and everything. If I want to compose a new message, that's easy too. I just tap the one button. And because we're coming from multiple accounts, we always let you choose which account you actually want to send the message from, although we'll set the appropriate one automatically based on whether you're replying or what inbox you're looking at. Now, I can type an email address straight up, and as you'd expect, if I start typing, we automatically start searching through contacts. But with Synergy, we're searching through all of your contacts across all those different accounts. So all your email addresses are brought to your fingertips, regardless of which account those email address lives on or which account I'm sending the email from. And the best part is, if we don't find that contact in one of your accounts, we automatically start searching your corporate Exchange database over the air and put the results right in the same list. Now, one of the most painful parts about email on mobile is that you're really locked into one thing at a time. If I want to look at another email while I'm writing this one, I'd have to hurry up and send it off or save it as a draft and dig up my drafts folder again. Well, cards on WebOS means that I don't lose my rhythm. If I want to look at another email in my inbox, I just flip back to the inbox card. I find the email I'm looking for, and as many Compose windows as I have open are sitting there waiting for me. I can pick them up whenever I want to. I'm not locked into one activity. I can flow between reading, replying, composing, just like I'm used to on the desktop. Now, here's something I kind of wish I had on my desktop right now. At the top of this email, of course, I see who it came from, and thanks to Synergy, I see Kate's photo from Facebook. I see that she's online as well because of that IM status dot. So if I tap on her header, I can get to her contact card, and I can easily decide I want to send her an IM message. It's really that easy to flow from one type of communication with a person to another type. Contacts with Synergy acts as a kind of hub for all types of communication. And the power of that hub is accessible to all our applications and, of course, all third-party applications as well. Now, let me show you Synergy in messaging. If I back out from my conversation with Kathleen here, I can see my buddy list. And by now, I bet you can guess what's special about this buddy list. Just like contacts, calendar, and email, it's all my instant messaging accounts in one list. I've got my Gtalk buddies here, I've got my aimbots here at the top with their status messages, their icons, everything I expect from the desktop. But Synergy doesn't end there. We took the great threaded SMS experience that we introduced on the Trio, and we've combined it with instant messaging to give you one chat, one messaging app for all your conversations. If I switch to my conversations view here, I can see in chronological order IM conversations and text messaging conversations in one place. But we had to go even further than that, because you're trying to have a conversation with a person, not with an IM address or with a telephone number. And sometimes people leave their phone at their desk charging or close their laptop to go between meetings. So if I want to respond to Kate here, I don't want to start a new conversation over SMS. Just like I did in calendar and email, I can tap on the header, choose another contact method aggregated through Synergy, and now send her a text message. Just like that, I continue a conversation that started in IM over SMS. This allows me to focus on the person, not on the technology or even worrying about how to reach them. So, that's Synergy in messaging, in email, in calendar, and in contacts. But as John said earlier, not everything can be solved by a flick or a gesture. Sometimes you need to do a lot of input. We've given you an amazing keyboard with Pre here, but it's useful for more than just typing and jamming out emails. We can actually use it to navigate. So let me show you how that works. Since we're here in the Venetian, everybody says I should go see the Blue Man Group. I could swipe open the launcher and start flicking through my applications to try to find that icon, but I'm going to let the keyboard do the work for me. I'm going to just start typing Blue Man Group. I type the letters BL, and the launcher slides up automatically. You can see it found an application that matched BL, the Bluetooth control panel, and it also started searching my contacts. It found Amy and Michael. If I keep typing, type the letter U for blue, you can see here Michael expanded open, and all the ways to reach Michael are now instantly available to me just by typing. And that's what we mean when we say Pre seems like it's thinking for you. It's not about making guesses about what you might do, because we all know how frustrating that is when the computer gets that wrong. It's about intelligently presenting all the appropriate options wherever and whenever you're doing it. If I keep typing Blue Man Group, you can see that Find drawer at the top opened up because WebOS didn't find any matches on the device. So now it's giving me options to search off the device, on the web, Google, Maps, Wikipedia. If I want to do a web search for Blue Man Group, I just tap Google, and the web browser will open up in its own card with my search results right there. I don't think about finding applications or even which application I need to find. I just start typing. And this is the fastest way to find anything, on the device or on the web. Now, of course, the web is really important for us, so we made sure WebOS had a terrific browser. And it works just like you expect from the desktop. You can see the web pages the way their author intended them to. Let's go take a look at the Blue Man Group Las Vegas website. You tap on a link, and here it comes up, just like I expect to see from the desktop. Now, we make it really easy for you to zoom in and focus on what you're interested in. So you can just touch like that. Yeah. And really easy for you to zoom right back out, get context, focus on something. Yeah. Order online. It's definitely what I want to do. But of course, there's more to browsing the web than just rendering the web pages properly. With so much we want to do on the web, with the way we surf from one thing to another, you really need to kind of do more than one thing at a time. So we allow you to have as many web browser cards open as you want. If I want to open another card while I keep my Blue Man Group card open, I just tap like that, open a new card, and you'll notice it's not a blank card. Right here are all my favorite bookmarks with big, beautiful icons, probably the things I want to choose. And my URL bar, I can type in a straight-up URL or do one of those web searches I showed you a minute ago. Let's look at SFGate. And there we are, just like I expect from my desktop. Now, websites like this have a lot of text. And, you know, sometimes sites with a lot of text are a little hard to read. Sometimes you want a wider view. So we use those sensors that John talked about earlier to automatically detect. Say if you turn the device sideways like this, screen rotates automatically, and now even my dad could read this. Screen works just like you expect here with all the zoom and the scrolling. But because when you're reading a lot of text, there's some good articles on this site. Now, when you're reading a lot of text, there's nothing quite as frustrating as having to keep touching the screen to keep reading it. So now that we're sideways, we use the gesture area to let you automatically, or to let you not automatically, but by your gestures, advance page by page without having to cover what you're reading. So I can just give it a flick, and you read to the next page. Your gestures aren't impeding your reading. Of course, if I want to go back to portrait mode, I just rotate the device back up, and we turn it back just like that. Now, the web browser cards are equal citizens with all my other cards, so I can organize them, keep one in the corner as long as I want to, just like your other cards. But my favorite part about the web browser cards is that the rotation trick works here in the card view as well. So if I take this and I rotate this here, you can see all the cards rotate, which I think is just really cool. I rotate it back, and they just spin right back. It's fun. So I've shown you how WebOS lets you finally really work the way you want to work today. But there is a dark side. The more connected I am to everything out there, the more other people are bugging me. Ever since I got here to Vegas, one of my coworkers, Andy, he's been trying to get a piece of me. And so it's inevitable that if I'm in the middle of doing something, I'm going to get interrupted. Say I'm working on my grocery list here. Yeah, there he is. Now, we can't do anything about your friends or their manners, but we can put them in their place, which is down here at the bottom of the screen. I can easily focus on what I'm doing. My application completely stays live. And then when I see something I do care about, because it's at the bottom of the screen, it's easy to tap on and act on. Tickets to Studio 54, you bet I'm in. Now, the notifications work beautifully with the cards, because when I do choose to change focus, I don't have to go hunting for where I was before. I just go back to the cards and resume right where I was. These notifications work anytime WebOS needs to get your attention. IM, text messages, alarms, voicemails, anything. And any developer can use them. Now, if you miss something or you choose to ignore it, we store all those icons down there in the lower right corner, so they're easy for you to get to unobtrusively. I pop them open, and I get what we call a little dashboard here, where I can see all the information I need. At a glance, I can see the number of messages left, a little preview of what's going on. I can act on this, just dismiss the ones I really don't want to deal with, or tap on the ones I actually do care about. But the dashboard is more than just about messaging interruptions. It gives me a way to control everything that's on the device. So, for example, say I'm listening to music. Let's actually listen to some music here. Yeah. And I'm doing something else. I was in email or whatever. You'll notice we created a notification for the music player as well. And I open that up, and I get the dashboard entry for music. And it's cool. I can see who's playing it, the name of the track. I even get the album art, although it's not a very pretty album art. I have control right here. I can advance to the next track easily. And of course, it is completely live. That's a little better. And if I'm in the middle of doing something, I want to put it on pause, it's easy to do that as well with the dashboard. But the best part about the dashboard and the notifications here is that they are a completely open design. Developers can write anything for it: stocks, weather, RSS, photo feeds, whatever you can imagine. You can put in any controls and graphics you want. It's just CSS, HTML, and JavaScript like every other app I've shown you now. Now, this principle of control is so important to us that we apply it even to the most urgent alarms. On any other device, if it decided there was something really important going on, like maybe a party after a demo or something like that, it would get all completely in your face. It would cut off what you were doing. But Palm will never do that. Even the most urgent applications happen down there at the bottom. So if I'm writing my list of stuff here, you can see the application itself resizes to use the available space. It stays completely live. I can finish my thought, and then when I'm ready, I can deal with the notification. Now, this notification actually gives me some options to really deal with it. I can snooze it and dismiss it, but I can also reach out to the people participating in this event with just one touch and let them know maybe I'm going to be running a little late or any other message I'd like to send them. So just like that. The big notifications are also completely open in design, so I can't wait to see what kinds of stuff developers are going to put in them. I've shown you a lot. I've shown you cards, which is a completely new metaphor for managing multiple activities on mobile. I've shown you contacts, calendar, email, and messaging, all in synergy with the web, and an awesome web browser for the rest of the web. You've got instant keyboard access to everything on your device and off, and dashboard control and oversight of everything. WebOS really gives you so much control and so much power with UI that is almost invisible. With that, I'd like to invite John to come back on stage and take it from here. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Matthias. That was spectacular. Now, that demo just scratches the surface, or should I say touches the surface, of what Palm WebOS is capable of. There's a lot more in there. Now, I have one little more thing to show you, if you don't mind. Many of you know I'm a huge proponent of ecosystems, hardware and software, third party, and our own. And so we've been working on a variety of accessories, and I'd like to show you the first of many. This is Touchstone. Pretty cool looking. But what is it? Well, you put it on your desk, you plug it in the wall, you drop your pre on it, and it gives you wireless charging using inductive technology. It's got little magnets in it, so it holds it in the right place, either vertical or horizontal. So you can set it horizontal and watch a movie, listen to your Bluetooth stereo speakers. It's pretty cool. Now, great consumer products are about the integration of hardware and software. You have to think about the whole user experience. And Touchstone is an example of that. You know, you get a phone call, you look down and see who's calling, and decide you want to answer it, you just pick it up. Automatically answers. Or, sitting in Touchstone, your phone rings and you look down and you just tap the answer button, and it turns on the speakerphone. That's an example of what the integration of hardware and software gives you. So let's recap and look at all the things you've seen today that are new. Breakthrough user experience. Palm Synergy, I think that's just huge. Universal search. One of my personal favorites is unobtrusive notifications. I am so tired of hitting dismiss, dismiss, dismiss. And then be able to do multiple activities at once. Be able to take an interrupt, deal with it, and then go back to where you left off. Now, we have a couple more things we'd like to tell you about. So let me welcome Ed back to the stage to tell you. Ed?
I love Touchstone. It's so cool. And you just put this thing down and just boop, and starts charging. And a lot of fun. Well, you might be wondering, hey, how does Pre fit into the marketplace here? How does it compete? And frankly, we think it's got the combination kind of perfectly balanced. You know, it's not just for work. It's got an incredible keyboard and great email and all kinds of capabilities there. It's not just for play. It can do video and music, and it's fun to play with. We think it's the one phone that you can use through your entire life, and you'll really enjoy using it. All the smartphones kind of will bring you the web, but they kind of bring it to you with those walls around it a bit. We think Pre is the first device that'll really help you automatically navigate around the device. Now, it wouldn't be navigate around the web. Now, it wouldn't be possible to do a product like this without some great partners. And we have a couple of them with us today we'd like to introduce to you. We have an exclusive launch partner. Sprint is going to be launching the product with us, and they've been a great partner of ours for a lot of years, and we're very excited to be working with them on this. And joining me today on the stage is Dan Hesse, the CEO of Sprint, who please welcome Dan to the stage.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you.
How you doing? Thanks a lot, Ed. Tell you, I'm from Kansas City. Those pictures of Mexico look great. Well, today we're announcing an innovative first, the Pre device on the Palm WebOS platform, and with its groundbreaking integration of services and multitasking functionality, the Pre is set apart from the competition. As the first U.S. provider to offer the Pre device, Sprint will enable customers to integrate the information they use to communicate, to organize, and to socialize on the most dependable 3G network in America. The Pre will feel comfortable for first-time users because it replicates in some way the way they work on PCs or Macs. The Pre allows you to keep multiple applications running, but move easily between them with gestures. And that's new. There's a number of smartphones that are out there today that allow multiple applications to work in the background, but you've got to close and open them. So moving between them is clunky at best. So being able to flick between these applications is really a breakthrough. I particularly like an application that Ed was showing me yesterday, where you can be on a phone call, and while you're on the phone call, you can check your calendar for your availability and others, simultaneously send an email to the group while staying on the speakerphone. Pre's very simple user interface builds on Sprint's focus of simplicity and ease of use. The Pre is it's great design. It feels good in your hand, your pocket. I love that slight curve for the ear. But what I really like is the fact that it has both a touch screen for easy navigation, because I really like the touch screen for navigation, but I am a power email and text user, and I need that physical QWERTY keyboard, so it really gives you the best of both worlds. By making Sprint the exclusive provider of the Pre, Palm is melding this easy-to-use, great device and user interface with Sprint's exclusive content on, again, the most dependable 3G network in America. The Pre's the right product on the right network. Gizmodo, which is a very well-respected technology website with over 80 million page hits a month, recently did their Pepsi challenge in terms of 3G networks. They went out and tested in the really 8 big, heavy, internet-centric cities the 3 major 3G networks: Sprint's, AT&T's, Verizon's. And who was number 1 in download speeds? Sprint. So independently, that's being verified. Our geographic coverage in terms of our 3G network is 4 times the size of AT&T's. And also, another, perhaps the most well-respected independent network performance firm that goes out and verifies and measures this chose Sprint as the most dependable 3G network in the U.S. So while this speaks to our data performance, what it really confirms is that our CDMA networks, and you saw an acronym EVDO, that's really 3G on CDMA, and our IDEN networks are both performing at their best levels ever. In addition, Sprint's open architecture is very well suited for the Pre and the Palm WebOS platform, because we opened, it's a very open platform. Earlier in 2008, we opened up all of our CDMA devices to full HTML browsing. And we also reinvigorated our web developers program to really encourage more innovation. So we think the web-centric model that Palm has adopted is going to encourage a tremendous amount of innovation on this device. In Sprint, Palm has chosen a proven wireless data leader with the industry-leading ARPU in wireless data, and we've taken steps in 2008 to ensure that we continue to stay a leader by making the usage of devices on the Sprint network worry-free. We introduced our Simply Everything plan so that customers can do all these great things you saw Matthias up here demonstrating and have them all running and not be worried to death about the meter running. So for less than $100 a month, knock yourself out. We also have other great plans. The Simply Everything family plans will save families a minimum of $240 up to almost $1,000 a year versus AT&T or Verizon. And for individuals, the Simply Everything plan will save our users $480 a year versus a comparable plan on AT&T or Verizon. And with our innovative Ready Now program, we think that we are particularly well suited to open up wireless data to many, many more users. This is the CES, and I think it's appropriate to provide a little background on a study that was done in terms of electronic devices. Last year, Christmas '07, the most returned electronic device from all categories was the smartphone or PDA. They were just too complicated. What we have adopted at Sprint in all of our retail stores, and we're the only company that does anything like it, is we will completely set up and personalize and teach you how to use those devices. Because customers typically only need to see that once, be shown how to use it. So if you had somebody like, maybe there's no one quite like Matthias, but if you had somebody show you that first time how to do everything, so you didn't have to read the user's manual and personalize the phone for you, that'll make an enormous difference in terms of opening up these applications and really the wonder of wireless data to a lot more users. We've also made other strides in improving customer service. Pally Research, which does a survey of customer care, rated us #1 in the third quarter, and we came in #1 again in the fourth quarter of 2008. So with the integration of the information you need, when you need it, along with easy navigation to multiple applications, multitasking, we expect that the Palm Pre is going to be an iconic and in-demand device. We've also seen with Palm that they have a very loyal and satisfied customer base at Sprint. 67% of our Palm Central users have used a Palm device before. We're also taking pre-registrations for the Pre. Go to sprint.com and learn more. So thanks very much for your time, and congratulations, Palm.
Thank you, Dan. Thanks very much for being here.
Great job, Dan.
So thank you, Dan, very much. We have been fantastic partners with Sprint for a lot of years, and we really look forward to working with them again. Now, the good news is Pre will be available through Sprint, and we're going to make it available in the first half of 2009. Now, we're going to do that as soon as possible. So we're working really hard. You can see the product's in great shape. It's coming together really well, but we have to, finish it up, and we have to make sure we get through certification, and it's the best rock-solid product in the world, and that's what we're going to do. Now, it takes a lot of partners to create a product like this. It really does. And there's a whole host of other partners. Sprint certainly being a huge part of the development here. But you see here on the screen a whole host of other partners that really have worked very hard with us to bring a number of different capabilities to the device, some of which are in the device and some of which will be third-party add-ons. We wanted to give you a glimpse into the thinking of one of those partners and how they view Pre and the Palm Web OS. And so today we asked Facebook to be here. Facebook, as you know, is a partner on the device, but we think they have a lot of synergy with our thinking and trying to bring your stuff together to help you live your life more effectively. And so joining us today from Facebook is Sheryl Sandberg, the COO of Facebook. Sheryl, can you join me on stage, please?
Thanks,
Thank you.
Ed.
Thank you.
Well, thanks. It is great to be here today as part of this great event. So the last time I stood on a stage like this was in September. and then we announced that Facebook had 120 million users globally. That meant that we had grown by 30 million users over the last year, which we were really excited about. Today, as we announced yesterday, Facebook has over 150 million users worldwide, meaning we grew by that same 30 million users in just the last 3 months. We're obviously really excited about this because it is these users that help us fulfill our mission of giving people the power to share and make the world more open and connected. Facebook started in 2004 at what was the very beginning of what we see as an evolution from the information web to the social web. Obviously, the web was a big part of everyone's lives, but it was primarily a place where you were anonymous. You got information. Now, other things were happening on the web, and people were starting to create more content and have more personalized experiences. Blogging, video sites, things people were doing to make their own sites more personal. But for the most part, it was actually really hard and really complicated to follow what any of your friends were doing on the web. Well, Facebook set out to change that. Facebook set out to set up a technology and create a trusted environment where people could identify the people they wanted to share with and easily share and communicate, creating a really safe place for people to be their authentic selves on the web. By now, we feel we've proven to the world that this is an important thing and this really can have an impact on your lives. We took that experience, our own trusted, safe environment, from our own site to others last year by launching Facebook Connect, and we're excited to launch Facebook Connect for mobile in the coming year. But now I want to take a minute to talk a little bit more about what we've done in the mobile space. So Facebook Mobile launched in April '06. At the time, we launched some very basic features. You could update your status, you could upload mobile photos, you could put together, you could get some notifications on the web. And even though the features we launched were actually pretty rudimentary, we saw a lot of excitement and engagement. By the end of that year, we had 2 million active users using our mobile products. Well, since then, the mobile web has evolved tremendously. Great companies like Palm and great carriers like Sprint have met that demand. They've put out better data packages, better handsets, even the exciting things we've seen today. We also think that Facebook in this time has been a big part of the social web. For example, when we launched the ability for users to comment on other people's statuses from mobile devices, 1 million people did so in just the first 24 hours. So where are we now? Today, over 20 million people are accessing Facebook through mobile devices, a number we're really proud of because it means our mobile users have more than quadrupled over the last 12 months alone. Importantly to us and for us, those users are active users. They're 50% more active than people who don't use Facebook on mobile. Our fantastic mobile team, led by Henry Mosenek, who's here with us today, is working with over 100 carriers in 50 countries to make our devices useful and applicable on different carriers and through different networks. In just 2 years, people have made Facebook one of the top mobile services in the world, and we're excited to be part of this evolution. We're really happy to be here today. As you saw, the integration that Palm has put into their products is really exciting for us. We think with Palm's help, we can give more people the opportunity to share with whoever they want to share from wherever they are, whenever they want to do it. We look forward to continuing to work with Palm to evolve not just the social web, but the mobile social web. Thank you very much for including us here today.
Thank you, Cheryl.
Thank
for being
you.
here. It's great. So, wow, we've shown you quite a lot today. It's great to work with all these partners, and let me just recap a bit on what we've talked about. So, first, the always connected web OS, right? I mean, designed from the ground up for a mobile environment, keep you connected, and the best thing, any developer can write for it. So, a pretty amazing new platform. We've shown you the Palm Pre, the phone that thinks ahead. I mean, a really amazing product. We think it's beautiful inside and out from a design perspective, gives you all the features you need in a phone, and hopefully the one phone that will help you really navigate through your life seamlessly. And the third thing we've talked about a little bit is partners. There's so many more partners we've been working with. The partners we brought you today, but a whole host of them. And we believe, as I said earlier, there's just going to be, hundreds of thousands of developers on this platform very quickly. In fact, one of them, Pandora, another big mobile developer, they told us that it took them 3 days to bring their application up on the Palm Web OS compared to months on other platforms. So we really think the development environment is going to explode around this new platform. So we're proud to share the stage with all those great partners today. The last thing I wanted to mention, or one more thing I wanted to mention, was all those apps you saw, all the apps that Matthias demoed, all those apps were developed in either JavaScript, CSS, or HTML. So we're eating our own dog food here. All the development is done on the platform in those standard tools, and any web developer could have made those applications. We think we're a little bit more talented, right, Matthias? But, a whole bunch of guys could have made that happen. So if I leave you with one thought, I'd like to leave you with this. We think that Palm's human-centered design philosophy, really focused on helping you navigate through your life and giving you tools to make you more successful in your life, combined with some amazing technological development capabilities, product capabilities, is the thing that really sets us apart. And it wouldn't have been possible without an incredible team. And so I wanted to ask John to come back on stage here and thank him and thank the entire Palm team who's watching in Sunnyvale for the amazing job they did on this product.
Okay. I can't tell you how proud I am of the team at Palm. I think they're doing phenomenal work, and we're just getting started. And I just know you're going to love the things we're working on.
So a special thanks to the team, and a special thanks to you for being here today and joining us and taking the time out of your busy day. We very much appreciate you being here. This platform is going to be the basis for innovation at Palm for a decade to come, and we're very excited about that. So if you want to see some more details, we're going to be at the Las Vegas Convention Center. We have a room 246. We'll be there today after 1 p.m., and tomorrow all day, and you can see a little more in-depth demo of the product and get your hands on it too. So thank you very much for coming, and good afternoon.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you.